Phuket Variety on Radio Thailand Phuket 96.75 MHz. Golden Oldies, news about Phuket and national and international interesting items. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on Radio Thailand Phuket on 99.75 MHz. I'm Herman, your host for today, just back from holiday, as well as your host for today, as well as every Saturday and Sunday evening from 5 till 6 p.m. We listened to Highway to Hell from the group AC/DC. Who is AC/DC? Well, you wouldn't expect it, but they are Australians. A rock band formed in Sydney in 1973 by the Scottish-born brothers Malcolm, rhythm guitar, and Angus Young, lead guitar. Their music has been variously described as hard rock, blues rock, heavy metal, but the band himself called it just rock and roll. AC/DC underwent several line-up changes before releasing their debut album High Voltage in 1975. Membership subsequently stabilized around the Young brothers with Bon Scott lead vocals, Mark Evans bass, and Phil Rudd at the drums. Evan was fired from the band in 1977 and replaced by Cliff Witcham, which has since appeared on every album since Poverage in 1978. 7 months after the release of the band's breakthrough brand, Highway to Hell, 79, so this album is from 1979 and still alive and kicking, Scott died of alcohol poisoning and the other members considered disbanding. However, at the request of Scott's parents, they continued together and recruited English singer Brian Johnson as their new frontman. Their first album with Johnson, Back in Black 1980, was dedicated to the memory of Scott. It was a widespread success, launching the band to new heights and becoming the second best-selling album of all time. The band's 8th studio album, For Those About to Rock 1981, was their first album to reach number 1 in the United States. Prior to the release of their next album, A Flick of the Switch 1983, Ruth left the band and was replaced by Simon White, who himself later was replaced by Chris Slade 6 years later. The band experienced a commercial resurgence in the early 90s with the release of their 12th album, The Razor's Edge, 1990, and it was their only album to feature Slade, who was replaced by Turning Rudd in 1949. Rudd has since recorded 5 albums with the band, started with The Ballbreaker in 1995. The 15th studio album was the second highest selling album of 2008 and the biggest chart hit since For Those About to Rock, eventually number 1 worldwide. The band's lineup remained the same for 20 years until 2014, while Michael Long retired due to an early onset dementia illness. He passed away 3 years later, and Rudd became in legal troubles. Malcolm was replaced by his nephew Stevie Young, who debuted the album Rock on Bust 2014. On a tour, previous drummer Chris Slade filed in for Rudd. 2016, Johnson was advised to stop due to a worsening hearing loss. And Guns N' Roses singer Axl Rose stepped in the band as the frontman and for the remainder of that year's date. Longtime bassist and backing vocalist Williams retired at the end of the Rock Bus tour 2016, and the group entered a 4-year hiatus. A reunion of the rock and bus group was announced in September 2020, and their 17th album, Power Up, was released 2 months later. AC/DC have sold more than 200 million records worldwide, including 75 million albums in the United States, making him the 9th highest best-selling artist in the United States and the 16th best-selling artist worldwide. Back in Black has sold an estimated 50 million units worldwide, making the second best-selling album of all time and the highest-selling album by a band. The album has sold 25 million units in the United States, where it is the 4th best-selling album of all times. AC/DC were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003. They ranked number 4 in VH1 list of the 100 greatest artists of hard rock, were named 7th on the greatest heavy metal bands of all time by MTV 2004, ranked number 72 on the Rolling Stones list for the 100 greatest artists of all time. American record producer Rick Rubin, who wrote an essay on the band for Rolling Stone, called them the greatest rock and roll band of all time. In 2010, VH1 ranked them number 23 of the list of the 100 greatest artists of all time. And yes, they are still alive and kicking and are still performing. Let's go to others. We're coming now in a period where we hear the toppers of the 80s. We start with an American singer-songwriter, musician, record producer, born 1958, passed away already in 2016, one of the greatest musicians of his generation. We're talking about Prince When Doves Cry, 1984, followed by a name that's famous to all of us, United States singer, songwriter, actress, Queen of Pop, Madonna with Frozen. Good evening again, and we start today with the start of the high season in Phuket with a new overview over different points of Phuket. Every emission, every seance, we are going to give some information about the province. You know all that Phuket is a diverse province, and there are interesting items to do about nature, art, culture, traditions, and don't forget the local livelihoods, leading to Phuket coming to a destination for tourists from all over the world. It is for lots of people at the top of their travel list. And Mr. Supon Suwananath is the new Phuket governor, and he is full of energy because he is at the start not only as his direction of Phuket, but he is also concerned about the guidelines about safety about the development in the Phuket provinces. Sustainable tourism and the development guidelines is one of the topics of his program. Mr. Supon Suwananath, the government of Phuket province, emphasized that Phuket province is one of the important tourist cities in Thailand and the tourist place for tourists from about the world. It is important to provide convenience and to maintain safety for all citizens as well as for tourists. Therefore, it's important that the people of Phuket must participate and take responsibility in being a good host to welcome tourists from around the world. Safety is an important issue, and Phuket will be as an image of the world-class international tourism. Phuket's officials are carrying out safety operations in all dimensions during 24 hours a day. Of course, we still need to ask you, for the cooperation of the tourist. Phuket is considered as your own town, so please respect the rules and the regulations, follow the rules to live together with the locals, and conserve and not destroy natural resources and the various tourist attractions. Keep Phuket to be a sustainable tourist destination. Phuket is a way that always welcomes you, and it appreciates coming together with the expat community. Phuket province, after the Phuket Sandbox province came of the life, was started the tourists coming in Phuket in various groups, and sometimes came even from new countries, including the growth of extinct markets, such in which we think at Russia, which increased with more than 100%, allowing Phuket tourism to recover quickly. Together with the development of a large-scale tourism and welcome as well tourists that travel in group as individuals. The attraction of Phuket is an addition to the world-class beautiful nature and the beaches. There is also the cultural tourism, agriculturism. Phuket can accommodate you all year round, 265 days a year. Tourists from every region in the world are welcome with no need to wait for the tourist season. You are welcome in Phuket province at every day of the year, all day long. And let's go for some music, and we go to the early rock and roll period. We're talking about 1956 with the American rock and roll band Bill Haley and his Comets with Goofing Around, followed by one of his contemporaries, an American singer, multi-instrumentalist, music producer, and best known for this number, Bobby Day with Rocking in Robin, 1957. A winter festival in Thailand is expected to boost tourism through creative events. This according to the Thai Prime Minister Sethra Thavisin. He declared plans to extend the country's annual winter festival nationwide and calling it Thailand Winter Festivals. He had a meeting for that with the Tourism and Sport Minister, the TIT Governor, and the Bangkok Governor Shada Sitipont. The primary focus on the discussion was the forthcoming of Colorful Bangkok Winter Festival, scheduled for the year-end. The government is gearing up to launch a minimum of 11 activities related to soft power, with more details set to be released in the coming month. The Colorful Bangkok Festival is a joint initiative by TIT, the Bangkok Metropolitan, and the Cultural Ministry. They tell us its essence to leverage the soft power to elevate the event to international standards. The Winter Festival is anticipated to boost tourism in coincidence with the winter and the high travel season. Spanning from October till December, the festival will celebrate winter in Bangkok, as you can call it winter with these temperatures, presenting the city lifestyle and identity through creative tourism. The festival is made of 5 main events: the 2023 Loi Krathong Festival, the Vichit Khao Prao 2023, the Amazing Thailand Passport and Privileges, the Amazing Thailand Marathon Bangkok 23, and the Amazing Thailand Countdown 2024. The Tapane Kitharwal voiced the objective of these events, which are aimed to showcasing the city vibrant lifestyle and identity through creative tourism. One of the missions of City Hall is to promote Bangkok as a cultural and a creative city. The festival, through its arts, its performance, and the New Year countdown, at Ratchanakin Island will demonstrate this entity, according to Bangkok Post. For the success of colourful Bangkok, City has collaborated with multiple sectors. He emphasized the government emphasized the city's commitment to ensure the Winter Festival is a resounding success, bringing vibrancy and excitement to the capital and the whole country during the festival. Music, we go to a man who we call the boss. He's still alive and kicking. Bruce Springsteen, an American singer, rock singer, songwriter, guitarist, brings us Dancing in the Dark, a number of 1984, followed by a rock duo, steel string acoustic guitar playing in close harmony singing the Everly Brothers with Wake Up Little Susie, and that's a little bit older, 1957. And some news. Next year will be a great year for the Thai aviation because 5 new Thai airlines are going to start flying next year. A total investment of at least 3.85 billion baht is expecting to start operations in 2024, ironing a piece of Thailand's growing aviation market, which is estimated to reach about 320 billion baht value in next year. According to the Civil Aviation Authority, the 5 new airlines that are being granted air operating license are really cool airlines, P-80 Air, Pattaya Airways, Siam Seaplane, and Lontark Airlines. Those airlines will have to wait for the CAAT to approve their air operating certificate before they can fly commercially in the country. Patay Sarazin, the chief executive of Really Cool Airlines, said that the airline expected to receive their certificate in January next year so they can start flying from the second quarter. The first 2 years of operation, Really Cool Islands would focus on Asian routes such as Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Shanghai with 4 Airbuses A330-300. With an initial crew of 130 people, the company will test the market with chartered flights during March and May next year, then switch to regular flights and later expand to European markets. We will not compete with Thai Airways International on their regular routes, but will focus on flights to secondary cities, which would also help further promote Thailand's tourism industry. Patay added that Really Cool Airlines would also be the first world airline that delivers passengers luggage to their doors. We are planning to invest from 1 million baht in products and services under Really Cool brands such as Really Cool Taxi, Really Cool Medical, and Really Cool Cargo, is said. The second airline, P-80 Air, the spokesman said that the company expected to get its certificate in the next 8 to 9 months to start commercial operation in the last quarter of this year. In the first 2 years of operation, they would fly mostly on secondary cities in China using Boeing 737-800 aircrafts, is said. P-80 is a subsidiary of Torrance & Thai Agencies, a maritime logistic arm of the Maha Gitsri Group. The company reportedly has invested over 2 billion baht in the new airline business, and of which 500 million baht has been bestowed to establish a new airline. The third island, the president of Pattaya Group, said that Pattaya Airways planned to take the skies in the fourth quarter of 2024, providing full-scale aviation transport on both domestic and Asian destinations. Pattaya Airways will use an ATR-72 aircraft for cargo delivering in the first 3 years, before adding 3 more planes to serve the growing demand for cargo delivery from e-commercial operators. Number 4. A news source reported that Siam Seaplane was looking to add amphibian planes on the Cessna Caravan 2008 model to its fleet to serve high-end customers visiting seaside resorts and ports in Thailand. The airline's first route will be the famous Koh Lipe in Satun province. With amphibian planes can shorten the commute time to the island just to 40 till 45 minutes. Number 5. Landak Airlines will operate short chartered flights between major cities in the southern province starting from April 2024. According to the source, the airline centre would be in Hat-Yai, Songkhla province, where it would produce the 5 Cessnas C-208B, a 12-seater aircraft within the first 5 years. Landak Airlines will respond its fleets to 15 aircraft in following years, targeting destinations in other provinces as well. And it's a moment I don't like, but it's the time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye. Thank you for listening and hope you enjoyed the music. Hope to see you again tomorrow, and we will meet at 5 till 6 p.m. We leave you with American group rock band from California, rock group from pop music and surf music, the Beach Boys with Tear in the Morning, 1970. And if time allows, we get you the Animals with Don't Let Me Misunderstood, a song from 1965. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your day and see you tomorrow.